Shembe is my witness, Jehovah is Zulu. In the last video, guys, dope the name of INKOSI PHAKAMENI. Who the hell is he, by the way? Mind your language. Mind your language. Let me jump into it. Alright. Look, I mean, who the hell comes up with this idea that Jehovah is Zulu? And what I'm going to point out this to you now is to say that if we understand that the Bible is literature and it's actually what you call a parody or satire, none of the events, none of the things in the book should be taken literally. So anybody reading the Bible should understand that when I'm reading this, I'm going into a different world, a different reality. When I stop reading it, I'm living in this reality. So there's a difference between the reality of the Bible and the reality that I'm living in. So when I read the literature, I can become inspired, I can be motivated to take specific actions in my own reality. And this is what Shembe does very well. He says he reads the Bible and he gets to understand, okay, this is how it went down in the story. The creator of life intended to show up as Jesus, who sit on his throne as the King of the Jews. That didn't work out very well for him because he got crucified. And he got to receive the crown of thorns. How do we correct this? That's a problem. So a normal reader would be like, this is historical fact, this happened, and just believe that it happened, and then just be like, thank God Jesus died for me, and then that's the end of it. It's quite tragic. What I'm saying now is that a person is meant to read the literature and be like, so what must we do then? And this is where I'm coming to the intervention that Isaiah SHEMBE made, and this is why I'm saying he's my witness. He's my witness. And meaning why I say my witness is because in 2018, I came to the conclusion that the King of the Jews, Jehovah, is actually going to be the king of the Zulu kingdom that is going to be reestablished. So the real house of God, God's two sons are the Zulu, what we're known as the Zulu. And God is here to reestablish the Zulu kingdom. And I became that God. So let me tell you guys how it happened. Is because the first trip was realizing that, geez, I am the spirit that inspired these writings. I actually remember, I nearly forgot, but I realized why this book was written is to trigger, first of all, trap a spirit like me to behave in a certain way. And once I start behaving in a certain way, certain things are going to inevitably happen. And by the time those things happen, I'm going to realize who I am and what I'm here to do. And the realization was that actually I wrote this story so that it can inspire myself to take this particular action of re-establishing the Zulu kingdom. Now, why I say Shembe is my witness is because he founded the Nazareta movement 100 years before I showed up to reveal to the people in reality that, hey guys, in reality, Shembe is the name of who Jehovah is going to become. And his throne is, the title he gave is INKOSI PHAKEMENI. So, by the time I realized I'm the original author, I'm the spirit that inspired the writings, but I get it. It's like, oh shit, I get why this was written, and I get what the purpose of it was. Now I'm stuck, and I have no way of being able to implement what I've come to realize my purpose is. Only to find, thank God, that I came before to say to a guy called Isaiah SHEMBE, look man, I'm going to pull through. And before I pull through, I need you to make supplications for me. I need you to go ahead of me and gather people of my people and get them to Keta INKOSI PHAKEMENI. Because that's my title. That's my throne. So he gets a group of people called Nazareta to Keta INKOSI PHAKEMENI. And who's INKOSI PHAKEMENI? INKOSI PHAKAMENI is essentially who can be described as Jehovah in the Bible. So the perfect way to describe who INKOSI PHAKAMENI is just saying Jehovah. You see Jehovah? That's INKOSI PHAKAMENI. But it doesn't mean that INKOSI PHAKAMENI is literally Jehovah in the literal sense. And if that makes sense, I hope that makes sense. So it's like saying, I watch a movie and I see it's Spider-Man, and I'll be like, yo, you are like Spider-Man. How do I describe this guy? This guy, Michael Marlowe, is like Peter Parker, man. Peter Parker. So when I say Peter Parker, you know the story of Peter Parker. And then that sufficiently describes who I am. It's like, oh, okay, that's who you are. Oh, you Peter Parker, oh, I see. Oh, you Spider-Man, oh, I see. So that is how SHEMBE has taught his congregants to actually receive the Bible literature. Is that Ama-Nazareta don't receive it like it's historical fact, and don't believe that, we believe that this is true, that Jesus died for my sins and that sort of thing. What they do is that they believe in the sense that they get the picture and they believe that that reality will play out in the context that they're living in. That somebody would show up in their context to water in the Gasenza or Kontinental. And this is the prayer of Isaiah SHEMBE. If you read the Sabbath prayer, it says, I'll come in the Gasenza or Kontinental. It's Katigile, I'll put it Katigile. So, this is what I'm trying to point out, guys. It's a difference between what's in the story and there's a difference between reality. And what we find in our generation is the fact that there's this unhealthy relationship with the characters in the story of the Bible. People like to associate themselves with the characters in the story, like Jesus, Jehovah, Abraham, all these personalities, and believe that these personalities are real. What people should do is rather believe that get familiar with these characters and be able to become those personalities or demonstrate the qualities of those personalities. And that is what true faith is. Right? That's what true faith is. I have to just define it. So instead of believing that the characters in the story are real, it's about understanding and knowing the qualities of these personalities and being able to strive to demonstrate those qualities in reality, in your life, or even best, recognize those qualities. And this is why Ama-Nazareta recognize SHEMBE and say SHEMBE is the way. Because they are familiar with the story of Jesus, how Jesus says, I am the way to the Father, no one comes to the Father but through me. So, when they read that passage, they understand, okay, that is the quality of a man that is showing us the way to the Father. Here we see SHEMBE. SHEMBE shows us the way. He is Jesus, motherfucking Christ. He is our God. You get what I mean? Because he's the one that's showing us to the way to our God. So when we've seen SHEMBE, we've seen our God. And that's why there's a big debate at this point in time where people are quite upset that they are members of the Nazareta factions that are claiming to be God. Right. And I have to say that I don't think that this is incorrect. This is precisely the point, is that a son of a man, a black man, will show himself to be God, and that person will come in the name of SHEMBE. That's the principle. So if somebody does that, that person is honoring the story of Jesus. So what people mistaken faith as being is believing that the story is real, rather than believing that the story is possible, that it can play out in your life. And I think this is the big, grave mistake that has been made. So what I'm going to do, in contrast to what was said in the previous video, is basically summarize my point. Right. Alright, this is in the context of the story, so let me just change this. Jehovah story. Authors. Alright. So, remember what I say. Jehovah, he will become the spirit that's making a way for himself to take a permanent residence. His name will be Jesus, and he will sit on his throne as King of the Jews. Right? What I want to point out here is the original author did this to get people to understand that Jehovah, the best way to describe him, best way to describe who the author is, the spirit of the author is, right, and his name will be SHEMBE, right, because that's who the groom was. The groom. And his bride will sit on the throne as INKOSI, YASE, PHAKAMENI, the bride. And incidentally, his throne. In Zulu they say, isihlalo sakhe. Right. So the spirit that wrote the writings is saying that his throne, SHEMBE, his name, and his kingdom and he's here to re-establish. Why is this the case? Because like Jehovah in the Bible, the Zulu, Bantu, African people are his covenant people that have forsaken their heritage and gone after the ways of their colonizers. Came to show us the way to who is the true God. And let's just say true God, true custodian of life. Alright, so this is what's up. I don't know if you guys see that. That is what's happening here. So the same way Jehovah became Jesus, the name of the Son of Man, and his throne is the King of the Jews. This is basically what's playing out. Jehovah best describes who the author was trying to become. That's why he told the whole Bible story. And his name is actually going to come in the name of the groom, SHEMBE. And SHEMBE is the one that sits enthroned as INKOSI PHAKAMENI, the one that will re-establish the Zulu kingdom. Right, and this is what's up. So why is this? Because in the context of the story, we get the principle. But now in reality, Shembe pays attention and it's like, wow, geez, and this is what happens. This is what happens, literally. Oh, geez, we Zulu people have just been colonized by Great Britain. The same way Israel was colonized by Babylon. And for this same particular reason, because we forsook our ways, and because of the attitude of some of our kings, we have now been scattered and colonized by our oppressors. So in the same way that the Israelites were colonized by Babylon, their hope that Shembe is expressing to the congregation said, our king, who can be described, the true God, who is the God of our ancestors, who chose our ancestors, that true God, the true custodian of life, will show up like a son of man, as a son of man, and take his place as INKOSI. His throne is INKOSI, and he will come in my name, Shembe, and he will sit enthroned as INKOSI. And if you look at Nazareth and we see who INKOSI is always depicted as a man in a dress, and this is to symbolize the fact that Umakoti wasezulwini, he is the pride of heaven that will sit enthroned, sit on his seat as INKOSI. So can you move from my seat, bitch? Are you tripping down? You're in my seat, bitch. Can you move from my seat, bitch? Are you tripping down? You're in my seat. It's INKOSI, YASE, PHAKEMENI. It says INKOSI, YASE, PHAKEMENI. Can you move from my seat, bitch? So I'm going to take you through this dirge that I created here. It's real quick. Alright. Can you move from my seat, bitch? Are you tripping down? You win my seat, bitch. It says INKOSI, YASE, PHAKEMENI. Can you move from my seat, bitch? Are you tripping down? You win my seat. It says INKOSI, YASE, PHAKEMENI. So this is about what? Faith. Being able to recognize the truth. Honor. Being able to demonstrate the truth. Glory. Being able to perceive what can be done. The reestablishment of the Zulu kingdom. This is what it is. Right? Is that I'm a man that's honoring Shembe, and for the glory that is perceived by Shembe and perceived by Nazareth that actually love Shembe. So what I'm going to say now is those people with prejudice and pride and vanity, they're people, Shembana, these kids of the bloodline of Shembe, the descendants of Isaiah Shembe, the man, the groom of heaven, the man that came to reveal the name of who the true God is, and to reveal where the true God sits, and also reveal that the true God, if you want to describe who this true God is, just read the Bible, and you see the character Jehovah. It's Jehovah, nigga, the Son of Man that intends to become. So the descendants of this man are out here posing and defiling the principle, and are not aware and not familiar with the principle. I can tell you now, none of the descendants will be able to tell you what I'm telling you now. That Jehovah is the word that describes who the intentions of who the God of the Bible is. But the God of the Bible is actually just the spirit that inspired the writings in the first place. So when Isaiah Shembe came, he came to respond to the author of the Bible by consummating what was consecrated by the author, and putting in context to say, hey, we are aware that we, the Zulu people, have forsaken our heritage and have gone after the ways of the nations, just as Israel did. So God of the Bible, you see what I'm saying, God of the Bible, the original author, we see why you've written this to us. We've made a mistake. We recognize you, O Jehovah, the one that intends to become. We've given you your seat, as INKOSI, PHAKEMENI, and we've given you your title. So I've already got people to follow you and respect you as Shembe, who sits on the throne. as INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. Right, so here's your seat. So, and this is why the leaders of the congregation are depicted as men in a dress, as Makoti says, really, that's the whole point, is to illustrate that there's a particular individual that will show up like a bride in the name of Shembe and sit enthroned as INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. And this INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI, who is he? What is he? We don't start afresh and try to describe who this guy is. No, the whole Bible story of Jehovah is a description of who this God is, in principle. So if you're going to be here stuck on saying, no, but it doesn't say Shembe in the Bible. No, but it doesn't say INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI in the Bible. And this is where I have to make an open criticism of a man called MPANZA. Like, well done, MPANZA. You realize that the God of Amanazareta is Jehovah. When did you realize this? Who is INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI then? And I think this is where MPANZA needs to take a chill pill. Stop taking shots at people when he's the biggest hypocrite. Who is the God of the Bible? MPANZA, it disappoints me because he's, for a person who would take the podium, I understand this coming from the congregants, the members of the congregation, but a person who would take up a leadership position and say that the God of Amanazareta is Jehovah, as if literally the character in the book is real, it's a big mistake, especially from Nazareth. The God of Amanazareta is INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI is the spirit of the true creator, the custodian of life, showing up as a man to take his seat and as INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. In reality. But how do we describe him? To find a description of who he is, his qualities, his attributes, his intentions, Jehovah. The word Jehovah encapsulates that, because Jehovah is he who will become. So Jehovah is the idea that the God, the true God, the creator of life, will become a son of man, who will become a king over a covenant people. So what Shembe is revealing to us is that we are his covenant people, right? And the true God will come in his name and sit enthroned as INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. That particular son of man is our God. So when MPANZA is taking shots at people who are making assertions, and I'm going to say Unyazi Luzulu is making the assertions that he's God. He's not saying he's God because he himself is God. He's saying he's God because he's sitting in the seat of God. So what I want to say to the Shembanas and the bloodline of Shembe that are making the seat of INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI like just some bishop, he's just some pastor, just some leader of the congregation. INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI is the title of the true God. So I'm going to say it. The guys that won't step up and be that true God need to move from my seat, bitch. I ain't tripping, dog. You in my seat, bitch. That's INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. Can you move from my seat, bitch? I ain't tripping, dog. You in my seat, bitch. Can you move from my seat, bitch? I ain't tripping, dog. You in my seat. It's INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI. It says INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI on the seat, nigga. That's who the true God is. Move. Move from my seat, bitch. That's what I'm gonna say. To the MPANZAs of the world, man. Chill the fuck out, man. You think you know shit, but you don't know shit. You read all this information and you read all this information, but you can't comprehend. You can't comprehend, nigga. You can't comprehend. I wanna ask MPANZA face to face. Who the fuck is INKOSI yase PHAKAMENI then? Huh? Is he not Jehovah? Is he not Jehovah? And this is where I'm gonna point out again, guys. The difference between the literature and reality. In reality, there was a spirit that inspired the writings of this book over thousands of years. That is real. But the story itself is not real. But why did the spirit inspire these writings? Is to reveal, is to describe himself and what he is trying to do. So the best way to describe himself is this word that he put all these attributes and all these actions and all these reputation, Jehovah. So the best way to describe it, the best way to describe the true God is using the name Jehovah, because who is Jehovah? Is a character in the story that does X, Y, Z. But in reality, who is he? He is SHEMBE that sits enthroned as INKOSI as PHAKAMENI. That is the true God. That is the true Christ. That is the true Messiah. So Nazareth is the promise. Is the promise that he came and he intends to do what he will, intends to regather the Zulu people and the African people, and that he will come. So who SHEMBE is INKOSI as PHAKAMENI is what I would describe as the was and coming king. The same way Jesus in the literature said he is, he was, and he's sending somebody that is coming into the world. So he is with the true God, and when the true God shows up, he will be with that one. So it's like was and coming. So SHEMBE did the same thing. Isaiah SHEMBE came to say, I'm Isaiah SHEMBE, but uNkulunkulu, the spirit of the true God, came to me in Tlangakazi, wearing a shirt that said SHEMBE, saying, I am SHEMBE. So he sent me to just reveal to you that the name of the true God is SHEMBE, and his throne is INKOSI as PHAKAMENI. So the fact that there was the spirit that inspired SHEMBE to found the Nazareth movement, came to start up the Nazareth movement, is evidence that the same spirit will show up again to do what he promised and implement what he promised. So this is what I'm saying. I'm here, niggas. Can you move from my seat, bitch? I ain't tripping, dog. You're in my seat, bitch. Can you move? Hey, nigga, can you move? My nigga, hey, nigga, can you move from my seat, bitch? I ain't tripping, dog. You in my... That's INKOSI as PHAKAMENI. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Awesome stuff.